Okay then, so, getting over the fact from that, well, 2 bullet wounds, 1 from a high caliber rifle that went straight through us, and we're jogging around 2 days later. What is Harry made of? It ain't normal. But, yeah, that was... Whew. Definitely thought that was game over. I was getting ready to sum up what I thought about the game, and no, we're still going, so... gonna be checking out the island today, I think. I don't know, there's much else we can do. Let's have a good check at the, Tribunal here. It's got state area. I mean, might have a better idea. Oh, yeah, we can also sort out the rest of the, that, I think we just dead-ass fell that now, because we can't find paint. But that leads to a school of fish swimming in the kelp. No, it doesn't lead to boom!
A skiff with a small steering engine in the back floats on the calm mirror of the sea. It's once you get in, that's it. One pull of the starter handle, and you're off into the bay. A strange trepidation comes over you. Are you sure you want to go now? Have you made all the necessary preparations? Closed all your accounts? Remember what the net picker said. It's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this.
Ah, that is okay. So, I think we are getting close to endgame. That sounds like a thou shalt not return. So, let us... Oh, I'm half tempted to do it. Because I know for well I fucked this case up completely. Yeah. So it's all about steering levers, shall we?
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Precinct 57, we've been attacked. To repeat if this kind of...
Something is wrong. Only static hisses through the speaker.
Hello?
No reply. Only the mindless drone of static crawling through the air.
It's been this way for a while now. My guess is the Union is listening in on our conversations and jamming outward communications to protect themselves from Tribunal. It only happens when someone mentions the attack. The rest is unaffected. Our best bet is to carry on like nothing happened. That is, if we don't want us cut off the grid completely.
Ain't that dangerous?
No more dangerous than stepping between 3 armed mercenaries and 8 Union men, I hope.
Sure. Well, you ain't doing it.
I don't like it either, but that's the way it is. The street seems safe enough to me. If anything, taking out the mercs made things calmer. For now.
First early off.
You can try calling again. Just don't mention the Tribunal. And remember, they are listening in.
They're shutting you up, silencing you. Don't fucking drop your guard. Everything sounds okay. No drumbeat of total war yet. If anything, everything sounds too okay. In the cabin, you see...
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Through to 41st again.
Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. Over.
Jules, I heard that some people think of me as a Puta Madre Pione. Do you think I'm corrupted?
10-4, sir. Well, there's been some talk, sir.
Some talk? What does that even mean? Did they get corrupt or not?
I only meant that there's been some talk in the station, that's all. But there's always some talk in the station. You know how officers in Jamrock are. But then again, some of us truly are on the take. It's unfortunate. Over.
10-10.
Roger that. 10-10, over and out.
This is Precinct 57. It will take...
Her voice is faint.
Gottlieb, what you get yourself into this time?
Especially it's followed by someone taking a long drag. How did you know it was me?
I didn't, but now I do. How's the drinking going?
Decided to stop. Completely. Forever.
Ah, great to hear it. Stop by sometime when you're done with your case. I'll draw some blood, run it through, let you know how much forever your liver's going to give you.
When I developed extreme photosensitivity.
That's because you're hung over. Even the radio waves coming from your direction smell like liquor. Do you feel like your eyes are twitching too?
Yeah.
That's the tiny vessels pulsating from high blood pressure, stupid officer. You might be sustaining permanent damage to your vision as we speak. Not much I can do about it. I'm not an eye doctor.
What kind of doctor are you then?
The busy kind. It's not life-threatening, just annoying. For you, that is. What with your reputation as a sharpshooter? Me? I've got more important things to do.
It certainly does not help with aiming.
Think about a heart attack.
And you survived it. Congratulations. Are you mobile?
Sort of. But by God does it burn in your chest.
Yeah.
Even better. Anything else? I wouldn't worry about that. Officers your age have coronary trouble all the time. Also, death is a natural part of life.
Accept it. The body is an object, and objects break down. Do what good you can with yours, before the rest goes too.
Top shop.
Ah, it's you. Walking, talking, though.
Yeah, but...
Great. Any other complaints?
That's it for now.
Anything else I can help you with, officer?
Someone's not going to help me out, is she?
Just a second. Sylvie Malaika. Yes. Hello?
It's the police again.
Oh, great. What else do you need, detective?
Was it you who called the police?
No, not me.
But you know who made the call?
No, sorry. I don't. Not a lot of people have phones. People don't have...
So the Union has a phone.
Seems like Glacier wasn't lying when she said it was her. This corroborates her story. She made the call.
Are you sure, Lieutenant? For some reason, you have a little doubt about that.
Okay, that's
Yeah, go on.
You hear the...
Anything else I can help you with? 57, over and
So
out.
nothing else new
In the
there.
cabin, you see...
A little chin wag with the doctor. How much were those phone parts from Kuno? They were like 400, weren't they?
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno?
It's always Kuno. Primal. Violent.
Shoot that shit at Kuno, Pigonaut.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We don't really set the nightclub up. I have no idea how I'm doing this. Karaoke, that's not gonna happen. Yeah, I can't think of anything else, so yeah, let's get back rid of the whirling and let's get on this boat. I mean, the only thing I could probably do now is head to the to get some more health things, but honestly, we should be okay. Right. Let's get to it.
The skiff float once you... Have you... Remember what the net picker said? It's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this.
You take the engine, Kim. I'll hold the boombox.
What? Fine, why not?
Very cool. Now tune it to SAD FM. You know you want to. SAD FM is a radio station specializing in sad, slow rock songs. You seem to know its frequency by heart.
Let's go. This could be endgame territory right here. Oh god, he wasn't lying. This is probably getting copyrighted, but... What is that? Okay, so it's definitely not endgame now. It is now, yeah. Oh, it's that song. Okay.
The boat comes to a slow stop. The lieutenant turns the engine off. Then there's silence.
That was pretty cool. Not gonna lie, that was pretty cool. Anyway.
In the silence, a sputter of wings. A flock of quails takes off in the distance. Let's go.
I don't know why we're whispering. There we go. So, yeah, I'm trying to get night. So it looks like oil's coming out here. The rusted chain trails off into the ocean.
The chain trails off into the ocean, connecting the island to the supply depot on the coast.
Leads to the depot at Land's End.
Ah, yes, so it seems.
What do you think it was for?
For bringing munitions to the island, maybe? And supplies? You could also lock the bay when you raise the chain.
As a defensive measure, lock it off that side of the bay.
From whom?
From enemies. Enemies of the commune of Revachol. This sea fort was a revolutionary fortification, I believe.
Oh, yeah, something like that. I don't get to note from the oil running from it? Odd. Makeshift bridge. Bombs are power enough to break the foundation. Depends on the foundation, though. See that seagull just clearing into the who needs seagulls? Dude. We're the edge of reality, guys. Those are falling apart. That's at least 50 years old. Go this way we cannot. I think it's actually just tire in the shadow. The seagull just winked out of existence again. Oh. Some fuel is leaked out of a barrel. Black and viscous. There's a lingering trace of mazout in here. Is that beer? Attention! Inflammable. If thou say so. Warm blood trickled down your armpit. The ligature is off. It's nothing. This barrel says ICM. You see a star with little flecks in it. No way to get up there. Stairs are gone. So in we go. Thinking flashlight, maybe gun? I don't know. Let's get the... It's very interesting. Let's get the flashlight out. I found that shit. This was once an armature rest. 20 cannons were attached here. Medium distance, large caliber. Ooh. Let's see. Careful, stairs have collapsed.
There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner, resting on piles of soft-cover books. White linen and a pillow are visible under a worn-out caracal blanket.
Definitely someone living here.
Someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh, recently washed.
How recently?
You force the rest of the sentence out through pain, thick as molasses, no longer able to hear yourself speak.
You know, officer, you can rest here if you are feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead.
No time for now.
Yes, any time. If you need a rest later, it's okay by me.
You don't have to be a hero.
Books, mostly fantastique and history fiction. Dishes stained with sauce and fire. Survivor's kitchen. 2 candles painting on a broken rangefinder. Moth-ridden bedsheet keeps the wind out. Oh well. If only we had the trousers. Doesn't matter. Don't need magnesium. Don't need magnesium. Great blast must weigh over 10 tons. Rust peels off it. That's where we came in.
You see a small metal door nested inside a larger one. A heavy steel blast door. There is a conventional keyhole above the handle. It's very small.
It's on the other side.
Another part of the island, probably. The lock looks like it could still be usable.
How do we open it?
Maybe this is one of the doors we don't open?
He looks at the door, then looks at his bigger brother, then looks at the lock.
He's right. It would be better to open its big brother. A powerful engine hangs under the ceiling. It must control the blast door.
Yeah, right, we open the big one. Do you set the controls anywhere?
I think there's a console just southeast. Let's look around. Getting the blast door open seems like the best plan.
Southeast, so... Oh, it's definitely zone up there. That's probably the other side of the door there. Oh, okay. Oh.
Books and magazines lie scattered on the floor and on a makeshift cupboard. They are not particularly well organized. Most are soft covers, serialized fantastique and detective stories from the 20s and 30s. This disparate digest includes the classic Animal Adventures. Popular depictions of man versus nature by amateur naturalists T&T Harpin, husband and wife. Widely read by people from all walks of life. Who doesn't like nature? Who doesn't want to survive?
Well, yes, that's the one.
Among what is mostly commercial fiction and serialized stories, you find a magazine cathodique for electrical engineering. Then it's back to pulp. Light erotica, an international thriller about circuit benders.
I don't think that's like a rocket trip somehow, unless we're talking about like fixtures.
Someone's made themselves a home.
Does that even stand out as unusual?
Not that you can tell. This is a digest of someone who's dead bored. Most of it is for entertainment purposes. Fittingly right next to the radiola on the floor.
Okay.
You do feel there's something you're not getting here, though. Oh well. The print in some of these is pretty small, though. This person has good eyesight.
Alright, so... We got everything else of contextualization or anything else. Oh, I do. Do. No. So put this on and we. So, some points in that.
Soft covers, serialized, fantastic. Oh yes, under the bed, there is a rather extensive collection of critical theory, that is, dour, life non-affirming left-wing literature, published by small imprints such as Abattoir Firm and Ouzia. It's not exactly light reading.
I like to think I went from a 20 to a 70 there with just one shirt and 2 level ups. Yeah. That's what the point is. Kim, book, left wing, no real personal comment on it. What about you?
Ouzia. Humanitarian sciences. Stands out. Not a lot of critical theory around in Ravachol West anymore.
Your incendiary remark has failed to provoke him. Wasn't there some in the communist students' room?
Student in the apartment building seemed to have some as well.
Well, yes. That one student did.
The little books seem inconsequential next to the big pile of frivolous entertainment covering them.
Critical theory books. What do you think this means?
Whoever has lived here, they have some education and a certain set of interests.
Interesting.
Well, good job. Wasted 2 points for that or everything. That includes that as well. Okay. Oh, there's that.
An old cylindrical generator is nested above the ammo lift, with makeshift electrical wiring running out of its side and across the floor. The cables disappear into the wall to your right. The lieutenant puts his hand on the metal barrel, checking for warmth.
It's cold now, but someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
We do have fuel. We picked it up earlier, remember?
The lieutenant assists you, holding the canister up to the fuel tank as you tilt. Dark brown, viscous fluid pours out, and the room fills with a chemical smell. There's a red starter switch on the side of the cylinder and a start rope on the other side. The lieutenant flicks the switch.
Yeet.
The recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters like an old warhorse before settling down to a rattle.
That should do it.
Wonder where these wires lead.
Downstairs, somewhere?
The tank is far from full, but there should be enough inside to keep it going for a day.
My guess is there probably would have been some fuel on the island somewhere.
The heavy metal door.
Alright, so that's that going. Ooh, it's full of the wires, isn't it? Oh, I see a gun door. And then one of those things where it's an isometric game, you're not sure if you can go under something or not because it just covers the camera. Oh, hello. Yeah, just jammed shut. I'm wearing the wrong top.
Green paint flicks off the monoblock aluminium cabinet. There are rows of switches on the front panel, a frequency band, and even a keyboard.
Yeah, run our fingers across it.
The keys rattle like teeth. This keyboard hasn't been functional in decades.
Wonder what this is then.
The console of an anti-computation device. The generator upstairs, with wires coming out. They terminate here.
Can I open the door?
I think, yes. Let's see. That one. The emergency open.
Sure, let's hit that one.
The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in.
turn the light on as well. That's some heavy duty crap. That's 3 layers.
A sudden wave of anxiety makes your skin crawl.
After you.
What's there?
I don't know.
Thank
A
you.
thin wisp of smoke rises from a charred black fire pit. The wind picks up, then dies down again.
Scared for a reason.
Don't be. I have a gun.
I also have a gun.
I know. It was not easy to acquire.
Let's go. So yeah. Taking that as a hint, I have 1 shot left. Let's roll. Am I hunched over? Damn you though. Dead ass runs into it. No, I'm gonna put that away until somebody tells me to back out. Don't have something out unless you want to use it. Flowers? Yeah, flowers. Step crunch. Small white flowers blossom around you. Rubber dinghy. It's deflated. Broken. Kids, maybe? Ah. And is that a rifle? That is. No killer, I think.
An old man, wearing tracksuit trousers, leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth, then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours. Unclouded by cataracts, his eyesight is sharp.
So I'm with the police. You can keep a hold of the gun, but just keep it down. Not one move.
No. Put it down now, sir.
Or you're gonna blow my brains out before you question me. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway. It's out of bullets.
The old man says, laying the rifle down carelessly, then looks at lying there.
Like an amputated limb in the sand, he stares on, his wrinkled mouth moving without a sound. A strange sadness, like a song.
What did you say?
The future teaches you to be alone.
The present.
Let him say it.
The present to be afraid and cold.
The old man pulls back the hood of his plastic cape and looks up to the sky. It's blue-grey. It's anchored over to sea. Those words, future teaches you.
Real music. Real Proletkult.
Nods.
That's La Revacholière, not your rock and roll misanthropy. Chanson de soldat of the black and whites.
Marching song.
I know La Revacholière. It's the magic song of the World Revolution.
There you go. 1 of 3. In Grad, they sang Brave Children, favorites of history. And in Signal, it was some Samaran shit, I guess.
How's it go? The song.
How did it go?
He looks at his gun on the ground and shakes his head slowly.
Something about shooting rabbits. I don't know. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. It's gone now.
He waves erratically with his hand, annoyed that he can't remember. A little tremor passes through him.
There's a lot of people forgetting things recently. Let's go pick that guy up.
His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. Frame stocked and patched in places with tape and wire.
Took a look closely.
The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm, made of walnut. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangon, 4.46mm, made in Sinyao.
Triangon, made in Sijao.
Worn. Personalized even. Looks like this weapon has seen a lot of use, hasn't it, sir?
No response from the old man. The plastic cape around his shoulders rustles in a small bout of wind.
Jacketed ammunition, 446.
Jacketed. Military-grade ammunition. Stable in flight. Good for hitting something that's very, very far away.
Says most of the old man. Just stow it.
The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. His right arm twitches suddenly. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It could be used against him to get a confession. In time.
Who are you?
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross. Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol.
Name, rank, number, yeah.
I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
His eyes turn to the reeds again, dead and dull.
The commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? You're a holdover from the...
From the Insular Indian Citizens Militia, the army of the revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in 07, trained in the École de Contrôle Orient, and consigned to emergency defense duties in 08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Been on this island for 43 years?
No. I've been on other islands, too.
Sorry about that. He looks at the fire. A wisp of smoke rises from somewhere between the charred logs.
I was in Resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was an E-48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was...
He thinks.
22 years ago.
So again, you've been hiding here for 43 years?
43 years and 10 months.
I don't even know what that is.
It's inhuman. It's sick. It's not how a human being should live. But I had to.
He grimaces, clearly in pain.
I couldn't just forget. I couldn't just forget what I saw.
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
He looks across the water.
Where the afternoon grows late, on Rue de Saint-Ghislain, people walk home. Street lights will soon be lit. Further inland, the streets are alive with workers, men, women, children, street hawks and migrant laborers. The temperature is steady. Alto cumulus clouds form above Precinct 41. 2 police officers step out of the Whirling in Rags cafeteria. Satellite officer Jean-Vic Mayer inspects giant letters across the plaza mosaic in dark red government-marked heavy fuel oil. Patrol officer Judith Minot points west. The fishing village. She glances at her watch. We meet in 15 minutes. It's a 10-minute walk. The officers go, leaving behind the writing, still smelling of petroleum. One day, it says, I will return to your side.
Always waiting.
The old man turns his eyes to the shore and then back to you. For what?
For her to return.
Her who?
Girl child. Revolution.
I come from there. I can assure you that's not what people are planning.
I am not a
He
fool.
blinks his black eyes.
I know. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The working class has betrayed mankind.
Oh, he's one of those.
The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore, however hard I try, whatever I do.
1 second, guys. Sorry. Sorry about that. You said you deserted your unit?
I was just 16 years old. 15 when I volunteered. I had a lapse of faith. And of courage, too.
Lapse of faith?
You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovian socioeconomics were fallible. For a second, I doubted the irreducible laws of historic materialism. A second is all it took.
For what?
For reaction to take hold.
What's reaction?
Petty bourgeois terror. It's in all men.
What was this exactly?
May the 13th, 08, 44 years ago. The horizon was black with coalition airships. Their petroleum rose to the sky, and it looked like it formed the clouds. Storm clouds. When they started shelling, it was dark magic.
Dark magic?
The combined might of international capital. All at once, all the greed and terror in the world tore into Revachol. It lifted streets from the ground and turned houses into ghosts. We were in the flak tower,
He points towards it.
huddled on the floor. The artillery was 80 kilometers away in Ozon, but I knew the commune would fall. We would all be turned into ash. So I said I was going to the map room.
He looks east. What then?
I ran. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland, in the bunkers underground, like the weakest of the weak. A mouse, frightened of the ordnance all night and the sound of the rotors in the morning, whirring.
He looks at the sky. What was that?
Airships. I climbed out into hell. The landing was complete. The chain was submerged. I had to swim back. The fortress was half submerged too, shattered. They'd all drowned in the lower levels or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. So had I. I left them without ideological direction. It was real. I'd seen it. I'd seen it in reality.
Seen what?
The mask of humanity fall from capital. It has to take it off to kill everyone, everything you love. All the hope and tenderness in the world. It has to take it off just for 1 second to do the deed. And then you see it, as it strangles and beats your friends to death. The sweetest, most courageous people in the world. You see the fear and power in its eyes. Then you know.
You know what?
That the bourgeois are not human. I had to fight it. I had to never stop.
The old man falls silent, His black eyes keep piercing your skin as if he's looking some great distance behind you, shaking his head slowly, retreating from it. What is this place, this island?
It's not an island, Dwat. It's a defensive fortification of the commune of Revachol. And I am its last surviving defender.
What was it used for?
The congenitally deformed King Philip II built it to restrict access to the Bay of Revachol. We captured it in '02, retrofitted the fort with an AA gun to defend against an airborne landing. Against the whole world.
You mean the landing? The retaking of Revachol?
Coalition military called it Operation Deathblow. I later found out on the radio they called it Deathblow. You're one of them. Tell me, who speaks like that? We had 50 million people on Caillou alone.
First off, I'm not one of them.
Sure you are. You're our CM. Answer me. Who calls an operation against 50 million people Deathblow?
Coalition military?
Iblis,
Iblis?
the black-eyed angel.
Oh, yeah.
Shaitan Ahura, the darkened one.
Yeah. And you've survived all this time?
How does anyone survive? I steal.
What'd you steal?
Supplies, vegetables. I collect rainwater. It's the life of a dog, not a human being.
After he coughs, he puts a hand on his belly.
How is your health, Mr. Dross?
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot. Been passing it in stool, too.
Cancer.
He does seem frail. Good for his age. More like 75 than 65. Trouble putting on weight could mean cancer.
The RCM can provide medical services. You need to be looked over.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy guns.
I don't have a toy gun, motherfucker. A droll smile stretches across his mouth. It's a serious situation. You need to be looked over, and we can do it.
There's nothing to look over. The triage is in, and it's black. Administer morphine. Moribund.
Have you coped mentally?
I haven't. I have holes in my brain. Years missing. Others filled with pain only. A decade of...
His eyes roll into his skull and back.
I don't even know what. Inferno?
It's like Kim talk here.
I would imagine it gets tremendously difficult, mentally, to live in isolation.
Traitors. It's better alone.
You know, so was my nose.
I watch the people of this city turn the lights back on more and more each year. Ruins, glimmering in the dark, like a fucking merry-go-round. It's disgusting.
He looks down at his shoes, his face parched from the sun and wind. There's a wince of pain in there somewhere. How have you concealed yourself for all these years?
It was hard in the Thames. I didn't have partisan training. They were searching for stragglers, those bloodhounds. Floodlights on the water at night.
There were posters, campaigns.
We communards still hoped, and they needed to snuff that hope out. The East capitulated. Martinez and Coal City were turned to dust. But Jamrock, Forburg, even Coron, and Boogie Street, of course. Those fucking kips had Marsov coursing through their veins. And others too. Some cordons of Revachol was still fighting. There were cells. I tried to contact them. Soon they all went silent. The frequency's dead.
How'd you get between here and the mainland?
At night, I used a dinghy. I only went after dark then. When I got to the city, I stayed underground. Patrols, you lot, the commons too. They'd started snitching.
In the city, you move underground?
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted.
He falls silent, his gaze fixed on the shacks huddled together across the water. The weapons cache under Sun Gillian 2B. In the basement, been there?
So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Elmer Graves, right?
Yep.
Useless now. Rusted away.
So you've been there?
Sleeping. Some nights. Ammo scrounging on others. Those McGraves were shit, even before they corroded. Some had bullets in the chamber, however.
You feel the dots connecting. Little dots on the map he's walked across.
Small bunker under the Felt building. What about that?
The propaganda bunker. I used to, but not anymore.
Propaganda bunker?
They stored leaflets there. Broadcasting equipment, too. Made broadcasts, I think. Propaganda officers. I buried them with their leaflets. They killed themselves. 2 young boys.
Killed themselves?
A lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them.
He stares at the ruins of the
No need to go underground anymore. It's better in the ruins, on the ground.
Why don't you just walk there?
I don't want to. They're all traitors. Pigs, rabbits, and dogs. Men without ideals are only animals.
Tell me another thing.
The old man looks across the water, at the city, the ruins, the motorways rising above it.
You said this is your termless surrender?
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol.
We enforce the law to keep these animals from killing each other.
You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary, le Parti Communiste dans ce land. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
A spray of blood from his mouth on the black charcoal in the fire pit. Rene, the royalist on the coast, said,
Coming out to sign the Revachol Instrument of Surrender.
Liberal reactionaries signed that instrument. Traitors who should have been burned alive. I answer to the Communist Party.
Is that part of why you've been here all this time? Because the party didn't surrender?
He just wipes the blood from his chin.
That's insane.
You're insane. Radio shows, speed racing, sporting goods. None of it is real.
So you're a communist soldier from the Communist Army?
No, I am not a soldier. I am an ideological officer. I belong to the party, not the army.
But you said that you were trained in its anti-defense school.
Trained in historical materialism, then assigned as a political commissar by the party. These things used to mean something.
Just means you're a trained communist, right?
He nods slowly. Then another tremor.
Not really into politics myself.
You're inert lumpen with a gun.
Detective, we have not come here to discuss ideology. We have come to ask questions regarding a murder investigation.
The old man spits into the fire pit. He does not say anything more. A jitter passes his lower body.
Yeah, let's get on to that then, shall
There's
we?
nothing serious in this world. It's a farce.
I don't have a gun in my hand. Oh, but I took his gun. Yeah, I took his gun, yeah. What have you been using this gun for?
I've used it for killing people.
Here we go. A trail of blood. The lieutenant smells it too.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I haven't done that. I've used it to kill people.
Interesting. During or after the war?
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
So he's continued killing after hostilities ended. Okay. This is it. You can feel it, like battery acid on the tip of your tongue. Something you haven't felt in a while. But
what?
this is what you live for. This is the shit. The great serotonin jackpot. The solution. Go in straight. No euphemisms. He doesn't like those. No. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
I know you want to tell me. Have you killed anyone with that gun in the last week or so?
I don't want to tell you anything, you grotesque murderer.
And why did you think that was a good idea? Don't listen to me. I'm wrong all the time.
So you're saying you kill people after the active fighting has stopped?
What did I just say?
You keep shaking your head erratically suddenly. He brushes something out of his eye.
What did I just tell you? Don't drop the ball now.
Did you use that gun to shoot and kill a colonel of the security contractor Tribunal?
The who now?
He leans in and cups his ear.
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part. Right choice. We're in. Do it, sire.
Corpse in ceramic armor hanging behind the whirling and rads. Did you do that one?
Oh, yes. That one. Ugly piece of work, that boy.
Did you kill him?
The lieutenant took a side step towards him.
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
Exhaust him with proof. Pile it all on him. Get a confession. The gun. The murder weapon is the perfect opener. The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember.
Don't need your cooperation. I got this.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistols. I've seen you prance around with those. Jumping hoops for the liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen. He would have a good view of the Tribunal from here. It's not just empty boasting. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
Stop changing the subject. We have the murder weapon.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
Do you think we have the murder weapon?
4.46 jacketed ammunition, modified for range. We have it. This is it.
Go on and get them. Murder weapon.
Good.
The lieutenant takes the seat notebook and draws a single line.
This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Murder.
The old man does not say more. He just glances into the reeds and twitches one more. Oh, what am I forgetting?
Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof.
Oh, yeah.
There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. They're revolutionary symbols from the war. Nothing else comes up. You see the lieutenant watch you try to stimulate thought processes by hitting yourself. I'm sorry, this didn't do anything. Usually hurting yourself does.
Officer, a word?
Excuse me for a moment, Mr. Dawes.
I think we may have this.
Do you think you did it?
From nothing to this in a day. This is good, Lieutenant Gefreiter. We just need a confession first, and then maybe a solid motive later.
Trying to get him to confess.
Yes, good going. That should be our first priority.
How's it with the questions going?
Good. We are doing very good. He wants to confess, I can see that. We just need to pile it on a little more. The more we have on him, the closer he is.
You hear that? He thinks you're this
Slapping
close.
myself to get ideas.
I can see that, yes. I'm not judging.
Thank you. What am I missing? What have we done?
Ballistics. Let him cook here for a minute or two. We can have another look around the island for a sniper's nest. I think we should check out the post.
Okay, let's do it.
Remember, he wants to tell us, but he doesn't want to help us. It needs to look like we already have everything.
Did I get over there? That's probably the line on the side here. How the hell? Is it round here? Rounded now? Nothing around the back of it. This is obviously cinematic. Yeah. So to get over there, round and down? Yeah. Must be round and down then. I didn't see any of a wave in the door. I'm guessing I need to find out where he took the shot from before I can actually say anything to him. So is there a doorway down here? Not that one there. Not there. Water rushes below. Far from below. Yeah, here we go. Firing slit. Can't see inside. It must have been a direct hit to take out such a large chunk. This inside of cargo ships. Signal horns echo in the water. Right, so can I get over there? Bingo. Right. Tank traps. Oh. I think they're called tank traps, these things. It'll be around here, wouldn't it? Pain in your pelvis makes you wince. Then you continue. The inside of the fortress. You can make out the console and the blast door. There it is. It says, an old medicine cabinet nearly stuck with rhodamine? A weathered artillery map showing coordinates to the Bay of Revachol. Games are in the way there, mate.
There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits like two eyes in the wall.
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to shoot from.
Spare mattress?
A single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Brand name, Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, along with cigarette burns.
You sure they're cigarette burns?
And an empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarette butts.
Pick that again.
The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand, Tio Moteri.
Tio Moteri? The ones who found at Land's End, remember?
Yes, this guy gets around.
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window.
Touch concrete reverse.
Quite old and grimy, from years without cleaning by anything other than the rain.
Through the hole.
The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out. A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting.
On the left.
1 kilometer across the water. The ruins look familiar.
It's on the left.
A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside apartments. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A and 33B.
And on the right.
The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the Whirling in Rags, Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 10, the doomed commercial area.
And between the two.
The box-shaped silhouette of the Whirling in Rags. Its sloped roof, a tiny fleck of light catches your eye on the rooftop, sunlight reflecting off the upstairs window of Clausia's room.
Motherfucker.
What does that mean? Do you have line of sight to the window?
Yeah, there's an opening between 33A and 10. I can see the roof.
I can see it. Through the scope of a rifle. The shooter would be prone, lying on the mattress, barrel resting on the embrasure.
Cheek against the cheek rest, hand on the hair trigger, on a calm day like this.
I don't know. Well, I could make it, probably.
Good. I think we have it, Detective. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest.
Affirmative.
Why didn't we come here before?
Why? We don't go everywhere in the 1,000-meter radius of the crime scene. That's not procedure.
6 people are dead. We could have prevented it.
Don't beat yourself up, officer. We did not put guns in their hands or get them drunk.
He looks north, over the fortification, then adds.
We will make up for it. Here. I feel it.
Yeah, there it is. I'd also like to point out. Yeah, you'd have to be like the end to make that shot, and it's like, actually, yeah, Harry could make it. It's like, oh, maybe not that high tier of shot then, but yeah, I think we're good. What was the check? Yeah, once I hit that check, but we very obviously got the guy who's already admitted it, so yeah. I mean, to be fair. Be interesting to know if you could solve it quickly, now that I know the answer, but yeah. I'd do that. Might not record it doing that, though. 2 in the earliest time you can get to this place. I think it was suggestion, wasn't it?
Minions of capital.
Composure.
What do you want? I ain't going.
So it's just composure. Why not? No, we're keeping all this stuff.
Minions of capital. What do you want?
Let's assess his body language.
For a 60-year-old man with stomach trouble, who spent his entire life alone on an uninhabited island, he seems surprisingly fit.
Was that it?
He's prone to erratic hand gestures and clearly malnourished. But that's it. You can see no more by looking at his slouched frame. The moment passes, and you say,
One more time, Mr. Draw. The Colonel, when you talk about you killing him.
Petty bourgeois law. This is all you care about, right? The only thing in the world for you types.
a drop of blood in the saliva. Tear into him again. Pile it on him.
There were Maybells behind the victim's window.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them. So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in Martinez, only here.
They blossom on the islets before. We fertilize them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May, before they ruined it.
South, The Bay of Martinez is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white flowers in white snow.
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
Young woman called Clase. Ring any bells? Dried flowers are behind her window.
Clase.
He knows her, but hadn't heard the name.
You know her, right? She had an intimate relationship with the victim. The mercenary?
With the victim.
He turns his sight to the whitening flowers and falls silent. Then the muscles in his jaws twitch. A spasm.
There is a small tremble. Looks like a smile. A crooked smile. Yet isn't quite voluntary. He's about to burst.
We've done the ballistics. Shot came from this island.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession.
Turns Solus' voice.
You've been here a long time, Mr. Dross. Too long. You clearly need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascists for fascists. Done his part. Just one thing remains unclear. The rifle does not seem to have a scope.
One thing. Where's the scope? How did you make the shot without the scope? Got everything else.
Forget about your stupid fucking scope. I don't know where it is. Find it yourself. It's your problem now.
He lost it. He just doesn't know where it is. Forget it. Push on.
Probably somewhere around the island. Yeah. Said Fuzzies. You admitting to kill him?
You're sad for your fascia brother, aren't you? One twig got broken. Now the others are sad.
He raised his hand. There's a twitch, then one more in his right eye.
A spasm of rage, sudden and uncontrollable.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood.
He was a killer, but he was also under the protection of the law.
Beating us to the ground.
Okay, he's a good orator.
Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner. Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
So you shot him?
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
You can almost see him squeeze a tear out of his eyes. His fists begin to tremble from the anger.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you. Hush. He does not need to be pushed anymore. The ball is rolling, while the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
Do the same.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase, and I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth.
Begins to smile.
I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
Then what?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Lieutenant asks after a moment of silence.
Yes.
Single word is all he gives and all he needs.
And you were looking at them, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The lieutenant takes out his notebook slowly. Very slowly.
The old man nods.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
Shrugs and smacks his lips.
The motive. This is where the motive is going to come from.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
Why were you looking at them that night?
I'm always looking.
He cocks his head to the side, then turns his eyes to the city. Never Trevor passes his right side, lower intensity.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
That's true.
And if you don't like it?
Click.
You pull the trigger.
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
He will not stop now. These dialectical materialist types never do. Exploit it. You got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift.
But looking at anything else you haven't liked?
A tragic comedy. Druggies, prostitutes, and rentiers.
A strange little engine seems to fire up in him again. It straightens his back. The familiar put, put, put of hatred.
More specifically?
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez is the worst.
He shakes his head in grave disgust. How come?
Because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world. Listening to race-themed radio shows. In the ruins, in their lorries.
He points inland. So how come he hasn't shot up? Welcome to the revision, Lord Head Measurer, then.
Pumped full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that Social Democratic Union and the farce of a Social Democrat who runs it.
Claire?
Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square, to spit on the working class.
Okay, let him finish.
Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez proletariat. The rest of Revachol at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruins. In tents, like animals. Like those boom-boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs.
He keeps shaking his head with sorrow at the sighting mist. That all?
The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So, actually, no. The worst is that old cock parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racists and liberals are dancing on our graves. The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins too. Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Quayamorang, or some other island they built their palaces on, feeding on drugs and having sex with their own children. That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain, it's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex. At least that old cunt, Frisell, is now dead. We did good when we pushed him under that horse car. If only, in the 30s, those disco whores...
What follows is ominous rumbling. Can't make out a single word.
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only a nonsensical sputter. There was something about a statue and nihilistic advertising agency people. Might be worth investigating.
Disco horse?
Horse.
It's all he says. Even that word has to be pushed through his teeth with great force. The rage seethes too hard. So can I search all the roundabout and syphilis?
Syphilis is a disease Philip III contracted in a whorehouse. The statue is an abomination.
Abomination?
The bacteria entered his brain and made him squander trillions on sparkling wine, cocainum, and monuments of himself. His son, Philip IV, the insane, contracted syphilis in the womb.
That is technically possible, although Philippe III was not actually syphilitic. He was just mad.
And he still went on to govern Revachol for 25 years. We lost 2 million lives toppling that mode of government. And those grotesque statues, too. Hundreds of them.
Still there.
What a keen remark. Yes, it is, isn't it? It's still there. Do you know why?
Because cynical advertising yuppies erected a deconstructed version of it.
That's right. Some advertising cockroaches erected a cynical deconstruction of it. We tore it down with honest working-class plastic explosives. And there it is again.
Change and discuss.
Art is a bourgeois establishment. It's an affront to humanity. Every gallery should be bulldozed, and the artists should all be given 30 years of hard labor in Yekokata.
Wait, the bullet hole in Philippe's heart. The statue had been shot. That was him. It had to be. He's already proven capable of taking a far more complicated shot from here.
So it was you then? Shot the statue. Bullet hole in his heart.
I did. A needless, sentimental gesture. I should have spared the bullet for a deformed monster of liberal capitalism. Shameful, really.
Yes, shameful. So many others to punish over the years. Isn't that right, detective?
Yeah, okay, so that's it for the statue then.
The
So...
fat union man let them put it there. Corrupt as he is. Probably got a fat check for it, too. Shared with the law.
I didn't take it. So you mentioned the Union is social democratic and Leclerc is a farce of social democrat?
Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy. The true enemy of the proletariat. Placating the masses.
Disappointment. So personal. He displays a familiarity with the Union's top brass.
So who's the disappointment then? Rod Clare?
That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass. I mean, the brains of the operation. The smart one.
Edgar.
You mean Edgar, his brother?
He talks a big game about uprising and social base. They must have sent the smart one to some university in Le Jardin, where it's alienation this and hegemony that.
You talked to Edgar?
First against the wall with him.
He stops poking the ash now, just shaking his head.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time. Nothing happens in Martinez without them knowing.
Going to pause here. Didn't Eclair want us to sign something where he would bulldoze the island to the north?
Of course. Maybe the Clears asked him to.
Have you approached them?
I haven't approached anyone. I hid. It was Edgar who came to me.
How did he know you were here?
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf. He figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the island. I told you, he has brains.
He points to a path leading from the tower.
Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I even kept the door open for him. Thought he was a man of the left. Wouldn't rat me out. I was right about one of those things.
When was this?
20 years ago. Neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then.
That's around the time the Clears came to power.
Yeah. What to talk about?
Edgar did the talking. Paid his respects like I were a fossil in a uniform. Offered platitudes about the struggle. Flaunted his pink degree. Even quoted Marzov. Never trust a social democrat who quotes Marzov. Oh, and charity, too. They love their charity. Offered me blankets and social housing. I still have the gas cooker he brought.
And he let you be here?
Let me be here? The ZOC is an unlawful successor of the Commune of Revachol. We took this fortification from the Loyalists. Even the Clares understand this.
They let him be here. Understanding was a courtesy. But why such a courtesy?
Mr. Gerard, did you kill the Crudel mercenary for the Clares to incite a riot?
I'm not doing anything for that swine again.
So yes.
Again? What have you done for Edgar before?
Tried teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics. They didn't stick. We parted ways.
Okay, he didn't do the hang the man for them. But he's insinuating something.
Come back to that red check after we talked about Rene. By cock parading around in his colourful uniform, you and Rene?
Every fucking morning. For 34 years. Throwing that ball. One ball against the other. I've always loathed that game. That is not a working class game. I don't care what they say on Radio June. Royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And that uniform, like a parrot plumage. I won't even mention that he's a traitor to his race. A petanque maniac race traitor. I remember him. I remember him from La Noce. Not him, personally. His make and model. There were tens of thousands of them. I thought we took them all out before the Liberals came to their rescue. We missed one. That one.
With his shaky finger, he draws to the city, towards the crater near the plaza where a lonely pine tree stands.
Fat and plump, like a pheasant, just begging to be popped off. Please, Mr. Dross, shoot me.
He whispers with such predatory hunger. It borders on longing.
You'd like to kill him?
Not yet. I like to look at him strut around, place the crosshair on his medals, right on his face, and just fiddle the trigger. Think about it. Let the bomb melt in my mouth.
Save the treat for later?
Don't ask cheerfully.
He is a juicy bonbon, that one. A real treat for the black day. The blackest. When I put that gun in my own mouth, I think, no, don't waste it. Put this lead in that cock, Rene. For the boys he killed. And then I look at him throw those balls, and I suddenly feel better. I even hid one bullet, so I'd always have one for him. Haven't seen him around lately, strutting around. Must be down with arthritis. I hope it hurts like hell. I hope he sweats blood.
Rene's dead. Died of old age a couple of days ago.
No.
Yes.
I waited too long. I waited too long, and now he's dead?
I'm sorry, Mr. Dross. I understand you knew him for a long time.
They're all dead now. Fuck it.
If he really wanted to kill him so bad, he would have done. There must have been 1,000 black days on these islands. His health ailing.
You must have had 1,000 chances to off him.
And I blew them all. What does it matter now? He's gone. Ancient dust.
Cared about him?
All human beings care about each other. I cared for seeing his head explode. Now, God damn this world.
Sorry.
Fuck you.
Bill Domino says, staring at the ground, sailing through the island you're on. You okay to go on, Mr. Joss?
You think I haven't seen people die? It's all I've seen them do. Fuck and die. All the other plans we had. To love. To colonize the Pale. It's all fucked.
It doesn't look like he is. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So that should give me another... Right, so... 97...
The connection comes to you like a splash of cold water. Dark, cold water.
If I'd have missed that one, that'd have been hilarious. 20 years ago, when you met Edgar, the Clares didn't run the Union yet, did they?
Hey.
Spoke from the old man.
He acknowledges it. Here we go. A twist behind the dark bend.
Who did?
That bourgeois cow. Tiffin Holly was her name. Licked the rich man's hand every time he came to town. Never seen a labor leader so hot on mutual cooperation. And money. She liked that too. That Holly was a real bridge builder and a deal maker.
His eyes glisten suddenly with hatred.
Bordering on sentimentality, it drips out of him. Tempered by something familiar to you. A familiar rage.
She also wasn't a woman, wasn't she?
She was. And she was real soft on those money men. Had a Barbara Muscova bag over her shoulder that she liked to bring to work.
And then she just disappeared.
Called in, they say. On the eve of battle. Ran away. Vanished like a piss stain.
Squints and smiles at the battle logs. Is that where she's buried?
No, that's not quite it, is it?
Did she? They say her daughter called in, not her personally. But that wasn't really her daughter, was it?
No, I guess it was not.
You can swear you can see the embers glow again under his eyes on the dust. So Edgar had someone make the call. Why would that be, Mr. Dross?
She couldn't make the call herself.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. The bend in the river.
And why wouldn't she call it herself?
Because she was dead.
How come?
Because the cow caught a bullet in her right lung.
There you go.
Fell into the canal, grasping her tit and drowned. Or bled. Hard to say. It was a sloppy job, on a moving target. She was going home, waddling, dressed in yellow, drunk like she often was. The ruins were black around her, and she had a yellow leather bag under her arm. She tried to cross the canal, heading home to Grand Couronne or Betancourt, someplace like that, where they build those new bâtiments for the people who flourish in the hell around her, and the ruins.
You shot her. So it was you? No, yeah, you shot her.
Someone shot her. Or maybe the cow just fell. My memory is full of holes. All I know is...
Another big spike of rage. Different from the one he has for her.
Nothing changed. Not in the material base. Not in the hegemony. There was no uprising. Just words. The Union fizzled. Sogged. Nothing came of it. Nothing.
Edgar didn't keep his part of the deal.
Splutter again, nothing more.
If you were to testify to this, give the RCM something on Edgar, you could walk.
Lieutenant says this in a voice even calmer, as if there was nothing at all, because that would never work.
We would strike everything you've done and process you as a POW. You were in a war. You were on assignment. We could even extradite you to the Samaran People's Republic.
A degenerate worker state. Goat shit. No, thank you. I'm Revacholian. My days are short. I will rot away here, in a moral intern cell. I will not testify to anything.
But you did do it.
I saw it happen, and I liked it. That's all I have to say. I didn't live and fight for 40 years to end up as a collaborationist. I've heard it on Channel 8, 40 AM, Radio Revachol, late night. Everyone is a blobber in this world. Everyone betrays everyone. They're all already locked up for betrayal. The best ones, the ones with heart, were slaughtered, trampled.
Here's to the city.
There is plenty here to work with once he's in custody. And the lieutenant knows it. He gives you a little nod to proceed.
Glad we talked about this now.
Glad we talked about what?
What specifically did you not like about the night where you saw the murderer?
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that.
Jealous?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore.
For him to stop reacting to stimuli, to be broken off from the world, cordoned into darkness.
And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, writhing.
Wanted her to see his head explode. Yeah.
That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
How long have you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
Past the Fell building on the coast? What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
What do you think she did there?
Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut.
In the free state of Seminine, hidden away at the edge of the earth, near the Pale.
Some kind of lock container on the coast. You looked into it?
Yes, after she'd gone. It was a submersible. Well made, actually.
Sloppy. We should have gotten her to tell us about this. Did you take the documents?
No, I put them back. Why would I take them? I'm not going to phone. Oh, I mean...
Moving on. Did you continue watching after this?
I did. She had a face like an archipelago, with those birthmarks. And a body, hard and lean and bruised all over. Black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook. On the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook? From the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo. And glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I've heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
He's setting it up for you. The bruises. You can't make that out in a scope.
And you can see through bruises. You can see her bruises through the scope of a rifle.
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
How'd you get close enough to see them then, Mr. Dwyer?
I have my ways.
Grand smile appears on his dry white lips. What ways?
Not in this lifetime, Dwat.
His thoughts elsewhere. Waves a bottle of cold.
This one's gone. Make up somehow. Connect something else. Fast. You're a bad detective. Lazy and bad.
No, it's cool. I've already got him. I don't need to be perfect.
No, it's not. Fix this now. Move on extra carefully. Be incredibly minute.
So do you have feelings for her?
There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like stones dripping with water. Is he crying?
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
Spin others?
Yes, over the years. It's not unproletarian to feel something.
Was that why you left the dry flowers behind her window?
No.
Starts to shake his head again. Sunflower on a wilted stalk. So why then?
I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of her room on the floor, like she does sometimes.
When was this?
The day after I killed him.
And you brought her Maybells?
Yes. I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
Wanted to console her?
Maybe. I told you, I have holes in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here waiting for you.
A sudden pang of rage.
If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
He wipes his eyes.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes. One more down.
So in conclusion, it wasn't about him, it was about her.
Her.
He repeats, staring at the reeds. Staring at the ashes, then the reeds, sorry. There's a twitch in the corner of his eye.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement. That's it. Motive. We have it.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days.
She got away. We don't know where she is.
Good for her. That girl kept staring into the scope, you know. In the end, this last week, kept staring at the island. At night, crying or smoking on the roof. Like she knew I was here. It doesn't matter.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, snow falls on 40-story towers. Above them, Lausanne Central Aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the snowy sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled by hybrid aircraft.
I don't know.
On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still she smiles among the crowd, among the great ghosts of the city she's leaving, for another, far south, smaller, distant, hidden, not like the great chandelier she sees sparkle in the night below her. Streetlights, towers, tenements, and water, and across it a dark strip of ruins, barely visible if she didn't squint her eyes. There, on a dilapidated jetty in a nameless village, 2 police officers and 1 special consultant look across a narrow strip of sea. The ruins of a sea fort stick out of the water, built by Philippe II, reappropriated by the Commune, then lost in the landing. He's there, doing what exactly I don't know. Satellite Officer Vic Mayer points at the ruins. Behind that anti-aircraft something. That's why we can't see him. Special Consultant Heidelstam is optimistic. We'll see the boat when he comes. Let's go get a coffee until then. I know this interesting little place. Where? His voice trails off as the 3 walk down the jetty. As the men go, Patrol Officer Minnow looks back over her shoulder at the crumbling fortification in the snowfall, like a rotten tooth rising out of the water. The old man has fallen silent, staring at your feet. The burnt logs in the fire are moist from the sea air.
This probably is a loop, but we're pressing 1 here, so asking what is scaring people you don't like.
His lip curls into a sneer.
Glad we talked about what?
So, let's get the dagger, shall we? Josef Ivanovich Dross, you are under arrest for the murder of Elis Corteria.
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
The old man's eyes fill with a sudden unexpected terror at the words.
The sum of all the erratic movements, fidgeting, and mood swings he's been exhibiting. The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken all around you. Little shivers of waves appear. The lieutenant continues, like an incantation.
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand?
But...
Do you understand, sir?
No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He looks at the reeds. I'd submerged in glowing terror.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead.
Should have put the gun.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
Wait.
There it is again. To your north, as it has been since you came to the coast. The reeds whisper, stalks rubbing against each other. But then, in the middle of it,
What?
something completely different. It sounds like a bow, very slowly being drawn against the strings of a violin. A very small violin, made of reeds and rushes.
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat.
Kim, did you hear that?
What?
What are you talking about? Is this really us?
Your skin crawls.
There? No. What the hell? What the hell?
A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by
Really?
limb, to then just stand there, moving its scythe-like arms in ghostly silence. It's still there, an unfolding mechanism of reed-like chitin, hovering in place.
What is that?
What are you talking about?
The insect?
There's nothing there.
I was confused.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head.
What is this shitpost?
You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand move to your holster to grab the gun.
There is, I see it.
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reeds.
Can you see that?
I can see it.
4 simple words, thank God. If he can see, then you're not insane. But that means it's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence. Its limbs long and slender.
Be very, very careful.
Don't know, it takes Westman takes up towards a giant arthropod. What is this shit now? Hey, buddy.
The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head
going on?
like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It is no more than 5 steps away from you. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning after the tape breaks. The hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch.
Disco Elysium Phasmid.
It is.
The lieutenant whispers behind you. You hear the familiar ring of his jacket zipping, unslowly, painstakingly so.
You glance over your shoulder. The lieutenant holds a piece of milled aluminium. He begins to pull it open, extremely carefully. It's the camera. No, the flash will scare the creature off. Warn him now.
Kim, flash is loud, he won't like that.
We need a photo. No one will believe us.
Continues to pull the lens open.
From the corner of your eye, you see a sudden cascade of motion ripple through the phasmid's limbs. A series of ultrasonic clicks fills your ear. I am not palatable. Do not eat me. I am afraid.
It's afraid. Stop now.
I won't be one of those fools who didn't take a picture.
Yeah, stop fiddling with the camera, but does not put it down.
You see the phasmid turn to him. its mandible antennae reaching out. Its motions are quick, sudden.
Oh, the pheromone, I can approach it.
I don't think the pheromone will do anything.
Stop now.
The spindly mechanism turns itself back to you, its antennae taking their measure of the air, slowly.
Don't be afraid.
Nothing changes in the cyclical braying motion of the creature's limbs.
Doesn't understand.
They are porcelain white on the inside and reed-colored on the out, beige, light brown, and striped.
It's gonna run off.
You are unsure if it is scared or not. Its insect mind is impenetrable to your reasoning. Slowly, with your breath held, you take 2 small steps toward the phasmid. The creature lets out a series of ultrasonic clicks that swarm around your head like swallows. The tracheal system on the creature's abdomen expands in front of you to take in and expel air. It's smelling you. Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin of its white limbs. The head of the creature is crowned by reeds, and its eyes are like small droplets of water. The insect stops its stridulation, seeming to observe you. Below its crown of reeds,
Speechless,
little
sorry.
pinprick eyes detect motion, glittering. The world stands still around you. Suddenly, there is silence. No, stop. Be afraid.
And down.
The invertebrate comes back to life, stridulating. Sets of complex eyes follow you, moving in tandem on either side of the insect's small head.
I think it's smelling me.
Maybe it is real, the pheromone.
It turns over the gate.
The insect's head is crowned with reed-like scales, the shape of seed heads. They rustle as the air moves. The ventricles at its abdomen continue expanding, like lunglets. Breathing you in, your sour, greasy semiochemicals on the breeze.
Hello, I'm Harry. I don't really know what I am.
No reply. A total ancient silence comes from its mouth, along with what appears to be some kind of foam. The stridulations of its limbs continue all around you. You were right. Little bubbles form on the mouth parts of the creature, on its segmented lower lip. It looks to be foaming, slowly. The foam is white, then yellowish.
I think it's foaming.
Careful, it may be poisonous.
The foam slowly turns a darker shade, like burnt caramel, as the insect moves its mouth parts, masticating. The little bubbles begin to burst, one by one.
What is it doing?
I exist.
I exist who?
Tell me what it's like for you.
I'm ill.
What is your illness?
My body aches. I'm bleeding.
I smelled it. As soon as you stepped on the island. Strawberries. Fresh bursts of red strawberries. Ripe, turning riper. Soon you'll be rotten. Now I will tell you how it is for me. For me, it is a series of half-lit images. A kind of darkness being intruded upon. Transient, dim, moist.
Intruded upon by what?
Shapes of plants and animals. And internal sensations. A swarm of sounds. Tiny vibrations on the inside of my forearms. All speak of complexities totally beyond my understanding. I am at the end of a narrow funnel. Weightless. So light, it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps I'm nothing. I certainly do not have a soul. And if I did, it would never ache.
Number 3 is definitely where I am at right now. What the fuck? fuck is happening here? Is this some kind of like Easter egg? Because I actually did all the fucking cycle. I don't know. Oh, well, I want to do.
Are you sure?
Why are you? Yes, I'm sure. Why are you asking?
Sometimes, when molting, I will grow a lost limb. One time something went wrong, and a small leg replaced the missing antenna.
That's cool.
No, the leg tried to move around independently, making it hard to walk.
Don't know if I'm there now, though.
Yes, thankfully someone ate it. The next time I molded, I grew an antenna again.
I'm a detective.
So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect?
Tequila. Death. Tequila, yeah.
He's in a bad state, deteriorating fast now. He thinks I am beneficial to him, but I am not.
Oh,
I only quicken his deterioration.
You're destroying it?
Very slowly, and only because he won't go away. It is meant to keep them from noticing me, to interfere with the pictures in their heads. But he has looked at me for too long, and I am destroying him.
Is this a dream? What's happening?
No, you're awake. I am real. Light is forming me. This is real.
Where does this come from? All this around us, the world?
Not even the birds know that. Not even the water lily.
And all we can do is beat our fists against it, day after day with no answer.
You can also eat it. If it's a leaf, you can put it in your mouth. Yum yum. Or read.
Good answer!
Wait, so
So you look like a reed and then you eat reeds.
Yes, they don't mind.
I mean, I say you never read fast, but
Yes, I once cloned myself and ate the little ones. It was winter, and I woke up at the wrong time. It was an accident.
fair enough. What exactly are you?
I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmodia, endemic to the Insulindian Insula. For the last 350 years, I have hidden in plain sight, masquerading as the reeds, molding, cloning myself, unfolding at night to play with trash bins and boys.
it may have unknown, dangerous biochemical characteristics that help it maintain its camouflage.
No one unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the suzerain. Also, by the soldiers of the revolution
If
and
Kim
officials
was
of the
not here,
occupation.
I would think I'd be
Even
insane
the
right now.
Seminese islanders who came here first, but did not stay, have not seen me.
I think that's pretty much word for what the bloke told us.
I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific revolutions, until I was accidentally discovered by a detective of the citizen militia in Reverchot, district of Martinez, March 51.
Now. That's now. Poisonous?
Yes, I do not have a starter display, so I use a neurodegenerative element to aid in camouflage. Do not worry. It is only destructive over long periods of time.
The deserter. He's been here for a long time.
It's insane.
No, you are.
True?
The moral of our encounter is, I am a relatively medium life form, while it is you who are a total extreme madness. A volatile simian nerve system, ominously new to the planet. The Pale too came with you. No one remembers it before you. The Nidarians do not. The radially symmetrics do not. There is an almost unanimous agreement between the birds and the plants that you are going to destroy us all.
Wait, the pale's human-made?
It is a nervous shadow cast into the world by you, eating away at reality.
Holy
A
shit.
great, unnatural territory. Its advent coincides with the arrival of the human mind.
I think I have that kind of power.
You're a violent and irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars burning in it are afraid of you. Give me enough time, you will wipe us all out and replace us with nothing. Just by accident.
How?
We suspect it will be something like the oxygen holocaust that wiped out anaerobic life 2.6 billion years ago, when organisms first started breathing. Only much worse.
Instead of air, you exhale thoughts. There are no trees that eat thoughts.
Where's how?
Everything your eyes touch goes back there, behind the nose mirror. What if you blink? Are we still here? Please don't blink. What if he misplaces us all one day, or just forget?
Have I always thought this way?
No, you're only thinking it now. This is a revelation.
I'll be actually careful not to blink stick insect, don't worry.
Please be. Or one day, one of you will close your eyes and sigh, and open them to see that none of this ever existed.
Kim, am I having a violent epileptic seizure?
It doesn't look like that, no.
What does it look like?
You're just staring at it.
I think I'm having a vision about the final fate of mankind.
Okay. Is it somehow related to the case?
Sort of?
I think we should take the picture, and then you should back away from the unstudied species.
I have to say goodbye now. I have no more thoughts, that was all.
No, there is one more.
Of all the creatures who've met, you're the most beautiful.
Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you before you go. That woman, turn from the ruin. Turn and go forward. For all mankind.
What woman?
You cannot lie to me. Behind you, it smells of fires. So awfully far you were prepared to go in her presence. And it.
I'll try.
She was hell on earth. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you that.
Okay, Tim. Take it.
Okay.
There is no change in the insect's motion while it's being aimed by the camera. It remains fixated on you.
In 3. If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The shrill flash of the camera cuts the air like the blade of a sword. The phasmid freezes in its bright light. Head turned toward the lieutenant, hypnotized by the flash. It stands frozen before you.
I got it.
You hear the lieutenant whisper as the creature's head shape develops into a photo paper in his hand. A polychrome ghost of white streaks against the reed in the sky, and you as a shadow before it.
Immortalized.
But they are.
The limb before you is incredibly light, like eggshell. It's much lighter than a reed. You feel a soft push could tip the creature over. Its hollow exoskeleton collapsing. Warning!
And away.
A sudden shiver passes the limb. Looks like the creature is awakening. Wave by wave from its stupor. Some sort of countdown process is happening. That's all you have time to think.
We got it.
Another shudder pulses through the creature's limbs. It jolts back to life, like a record continuing where it left off, in a swaying, praying motion. Even the small black pearls of its eyes do not stray from you.
Back up slowly.
As you're turning away, the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface.
Oh, it's still there, okay.
And just like that,
The
it's gone,
fuck?
skating away across the sea's calm mirror like a skipping stone, leaving nothing but circles on the water. And something under it, in the place it stood, bobbing there, among the reeds, a collection of items.
It's gone.
Lieutenant looks north with his hand raised to his brow.
Apparently, yes. Like a water strider.
Sorry.
Only, I've never seen anything like that in my life.
What's that in the reeds?
Looks like a nest of some sort. We should have a look.
What now?
What now?
The old man behind you repeats suddenly. He's put his hand to the ash. It's dirty and black.
Our suspect is not looking so good. We need to check on him.
Oh! It brought us evidence! What the fuck?
What is it? What do you want from me? I can't go.
Something is very wrong with him now.
Sir, how can you not see the phasmid?
See.
He stares at the reeds and falls silent.
Mr. Dras?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets, his gap-toothed mouth shaking. A light shiver passes him, followed by nothing. His hands are trembling, and he breathes slowly.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem. Doesn't it, Mr. Dras?
The trembling mouth appears to sigh.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid.
What's happening to him?
Old age and shock.
Could be the phasmid.
Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the phasmid, the combined stress. But you think it's something more than that, don't you?
I talked to it. It said it's destroying him.
You should be more careful, detective. Are you sure it wasn't having an effect on you?
Maybe. Anyway, it's only trying to remain unseen. The degradation is a side effect.
A valid hunch. Long-term exposure to something like that could be neurodegenerative. Also, please be careful when approaching a known species in the future, detective.
Like you, Kim. He couldn't see it, Kim. It's just reads for him.
That could be part of the shock. But you're right, something is off here. Mr. Dras.
Touches the man's shoulder.
No response.
Maybe this is how the phasmid has stayed hidden all these years.
Then how did we see it? Oh, you mean, whatever does this, does it over time? Teenagers, kids, drunks, sightings are brief, and hence not credible. But anyone who spends a long time with it...
Yeah, you just forget it's there.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Dras, have you ever seen a stick insect pretending to be the reeds?
He stutters.
The doctors will have to look at this. I hope your station has better medical personnel than 57. This is a little advanced for a nurse.
Could be that there's something hormonal in his relationships with the phasmid.
You mean pheromonal?
He seems a little off for a man his age. No, forget it.
He does not look hormonal anymore. Motionless.
Yeah, no.
His plastic cape flaps in a sudden gust of wind.
It's been here a long time. Who knows how much of it is... Blah! It's been here for a long time. Who knows how much of it... Who knows how much of it in its company? There we go.
He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him. Like he didn't want to leave this place. And the insect, maybe.
That's his notebook.
I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this. This will be one hell of a report. Thank God we have the photo.
No one would believe you without it.
We found some things in the phasmid's nest, Mr. Dross.
He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should.
Show him the helmet.
Nothing. Just dull staring. Not even rage left, wherever he is. The last embers have gone out. The war is over.
If Kuno kicked it into the sea, as he said he did, the ebb would put it back here. This makes sense. Mr. Dross could have picked it up. Or the phasmid even. If it did, this is incredible.
And the scope?
I lost.
You lost it, Mr. Dross.
He turns his eyes to the reeds again, as he's done so many times. Beige and white stripes.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there. With the help of a magpie phasmid.
The lieutenant observes the lens sparkle in your hand.
This sight is a T9, Mr. Dross. Was it attached to the rifle when you made the shot?
Silence. Not even a sigh.
Gotta let you rest now, Mr. Dross.
The plastic cape flaps around his face in a
Don't
gust of
sigh.
wind.
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here. If we don't take too long.
So a quick check of our inventory. So yeah, fair weather. Yep. Can't do that, okay, cool. Right. Boy, bay. Oh. I'm going to probably pause it here and take care of some stuff, and they will be finishing this. We're going to carry on. But I just need to take care of a few things first, so let's... Criminate. Well, that took a left turn. I kind of think, what would have happened if I didn't like keep on the fast bit though?
ICM? This feels familiar somehow.
Kim, what's the ICM?
Insulindian Citizens Militia. It's the official name of the Communards Army, the black and white army of the Revolution.
Sounds an awful lot like.
Sounds a lot like us.
It does.
Why?
The RCM may descend from the ICM.
May?
It's impossible to say. It was chaos after the war. The name was good for getting people to join us. Revachol West was mostly workers and criminals.
Nice political thoughts rush through your neocortex. It's going to be hard to say them. Carrying around all that weight on a busted crutch is making you pant.
ICM sounds like ICP, very close to the International Collaboration Police. That's normal that way.
That's just a coincidence, officer. The Comil was founded in 32.
White Star?
No, an upside-down star.
With its horns in the sky, the symbol of the commune.
Spec stars as well?
No, that's the uninhabited archipelago.
A DeLorean-era symbol of Insulinda, known as the face in the sea.
Looks old, what's it still doing it?
After 44 years? That's not nearly enough to hide what happened here, Lieutenant Gefreiter. One of these barrels was still leaking fuel, as you saw. The city is full of things like this. Old bullets, guns, fuel.
I guess you're right. Okay, so I'm going to save here. I may put this up as a second video. I'm definitely coming back to this at some point later tonight, maybe, because we're fight. Yeah, I'm in now. So I might see you later on. I might see you in a different video. We'll see. See how I feel. See you later. Okay, so carrying on where I left off. Bit of food. Bit of time to sort of get over the what the hell did I just witness? I probably will put this on the end, which means this one's going to be a bit long, boy, but... well, what can we do? I think we are near the end there.
Yes?
Okay, yep. So I guess go back to the mainland, don't we? Return? Does it want us to rest in the tower? No.
The skiff is swaying on the waves by the dock.
Let's head to the mainland.
Let's. We are done here.
Says just as glasses looks over the water.
The skiff rocks gently under your weight as you get in. The ride back is uneventful and quiet.
What would have happened if I did rest in the tower?
But for the sound of conversation on the water, there is someone inland waiting for you. Two men and a woman stand on the concrete square of a nameless village, looking at a small yellow boat as it draws closer. The sea is calm. You reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
Where are they?
Look what the tide brought him.
Okay. Says a man without sunglasses. Suddenly expresses change as he tilts his head.
Harry, you're bleeding all over the place. You're half dead.
Whatever this is, it is completely unimportant compared to what you've just seen. This is the man with sunglasses from the Whirling in Rags. But where are his sunglasses?
No one seems bothered by the bleeding.
Bothered by it? Harry, you look like you need a fucking organ transplant. Oh, fuck it. Let's not get into that.
Forget about all this. There's a giant...
We're not forgetting about anything. Look at you.
Wait, you're the man with the sunglasses.
That's right. And you're bleeding.
Who are you people?
Hello, I'm Trent Heilerstam. I believe we've met on several occasions.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean-Vic Comar. And this is your special task force. Or what's left of it. Special Consultant Trent Heilerstam, Patrol Officer Judith Minot.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you off the pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kisuragi, Prison 57. We've just come from the island, where our investigation led us.
The scene is making even him feel as though he has to justify your actions.
We might need your help with something later.
Yeah, it's suddenly regaining his confidence.
As if he recalled that he's in fact a decorated police lieutenant and not a naughty boy.
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
Thanks, Kim.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuhagi.
She says warmly, flashing the lieutenant the tiniest of smiles.
Letting the lieutenant know he shouldn't feel embarrassed over the shitstorm that's about to befall you.
What's all this about, then?
Ari, we want to help you. Trent, I believe this is where you come in?
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations a little. I'm at best an enthusiast in cognitive science. My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact, I should probably get going.
No, Trent, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
Shit kid. What an interesting moniker.
What's a shit, kid?
You. Shit kid? That's you.
Maybe you've deserved it.
How'd you know I was there?
The cafeteria manager you fucked over told us where you went.
Okay, I understand. Okay, God told you.
And people on the street helped us too, with your whereabouts.
You're a legend among the drunks, Harry. A legendary local drunk.
You're not the man with the sunglasses, or you're not even blonde.
Guilty as charged. I heard you'd lost your mind and your memory. I wanted to see if it was true, and it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now. There's one less person for me and everyone else to rely on.
He was too sarcastic for you to realize who he was.
Actually, I suspected there was something off.
Did you? Or did you literally not recognize my face? We've been partners for how long, Harry? Don't answer that. You don't remember.
Absolutely no idea. 100 years?
So you never told me you're the horse-faced woman.
Lieutenant, my name is not horse-faced woman. It's Judith Minot. I was assigned to your unit 2 months ago. I thought we were friends.
I'm truly sorry, officer.
Okay, you're my commanding officer. I really want to respect you. I want us to have a normal relationship.
That will never happen, Jude. He's the rudest man on earth. He's the reason why the rest of us have to take sensitivity training. And I hate sensitivity training.
So, Trent Heilerstam turns out to be special consultant Trent Heilerstam.
Yes, I'm Trent Heilerstam. I never said I wasn't Trent Heilerstam.
What's with the kid, then?
Mikhail? Mikhail's my son.
What was all the interesting history? Spying on me?
No, I was just interested in the Feld building and the Martinez beachhead. And Mikhail wanted to see Martinez. It was a coincidence.
So what are you special consulting here?
What indeed? I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s. Like partial psychotraumatic amnesia, group personality theory.
Oh.
He's here to see if you're insane. He is smart. Let's move on.
Duped again. No one's who they say they are.
Duped? Hey, here's a brilliant idea. Don't be a morbid drunk and you won't be duped so easily.
Gardener, scab leader, this. Tell me it is you who are saying you are.
Yes, I'm still King Kisoragi, still a lieutenant from Precinct 57.
Still caught up in this crossfire, too.
Mention the task force?
Yeah, Major Crimes Unit, under Lieutenant Dubois and Vicomar. Ring any bells?
Who else is in this?
Refresh your memory? It's a goddamn Major Crimes Unit. There's you, me, Jude, Tron fucking Heidelstein, and Guillaume Baby.
You.
I'm technically just a civilian advisor.
Oh, fuck you. You're part of this shit show.
Bevy?
Oh, that's an interesting story, actually. Guillaume Bevy is a police reporter who joined our team. He was really good. Then he left because he lost faith in your ability to lead the unit. Other people have left too. Good, smart people. People we won't get back. Only me and this really patient patrol officer are still here. And Tron because I'm forcing him to stay.
Is this Guillaume Bevy blonde and partial to sunglasses?
Blonde sunglasses like you were?
See? There. He's getting it. I was impersonating him. Look at me, I'm G. Bevy. It was going to be funny, but then you really did have brain damage. So not so much anymore.
Okay, so what did this unit do?
Do? It's a major crimes unit. We clear the desk of cases so Precinct 41 doesn't look like the worst station in town. We are shit tier now, Harry. Because of you.
The 41st isn't...
He trails off. Not watching to finish that sentence. So where have we been all this time?
Where have we been? We've been fucking off as far as I remember.
Cross his arms.
You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. Fuck everything. All we burn. Detect or die.
I said all those things? Not like that anymore.
Yes. You're sorry. You're the sorriest cop who ever lived. Nothing has changed, Harry. I've heard this repentance shit a million times over.
Yeah, none of this is ringing any bells.
The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trant, this is where you come in. How bad is it?
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors, he talks without slurring, he can drive a boat, he's standing, reasoning. All good signs, but complete retrograde amnesia, episodic and semantic.
Meaning, you forgot both who you are and the definitions of money, Isola, Pell, and so on.
Yeah, we worked that out.
As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him, and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before when Harry did not seem to know who I was. It's all very interesting.
Interesting?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socioeconomically?
I think I drank so much I lost my memory and I'm slowly recovering it.
He is. He's getting better. And I can confirm that he drank a lot of alcohol prior to it happening.
I believe he drank. People do that, especially this one. What they don't do is forget their whole life because of drinking.
But Detective Vigmer, he has blanked out before.
I have?
Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. One was after the two drunks case, the other when we looked into that mural.
So you don't remember not remembering. Beautiful.
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea, yes. Practice. And then he used alcohol to get there, so to speak.
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be explained, approached as a defect? Look at the sensory input here.
He just was the scenery.
Look at the ruins, the neon. Listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world tape, to borrow a known metaphor. Harry's been pushed flat against it. Total input. Hardwired to the free market. He just needed for it to end.
Okay, Trent, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to work in the major crimes unit? Is he a cretin now? I want to know that.
He's not a cretin, and he is able to do work. If not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective.
Lon says it's good for now.
For now? I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the body? Or do we need to get him on a disability pension?
What now?
Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here.
Really?
No. Now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to a motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry?
Time has come to kill his son, is it?
Ha ha ha. Ho ho ho. Tequila sunset. Not sunrise because you're almost dead. So funny, Harry. Thank you for fucking me. Thank you for destroying 45,000 real of police property that's coming out of my payslip. You know that, right? You're gonna get fired. And I'm gonna pay till I die. It doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
Got it right here.
In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic, and the badge slips out of your hand. Not today, badge.
Did I get the badge?
You got it all right. You're showing it to him, victorious. They're seeing the badge.
Drama's unnecessary. I got the badge as well.
And your gun?
He's plastic in hand.
As if having your badge and gun are natural states, not achievements. Gun. Yeah, you don't have that. Maybe you can philosophize your way out of it.
I'm on it. 24/7. I'm tracking it down right now.
But you haven't. Because you're drunk. You lost your gun, and you're drunk. You're a drunk, gunless bum. I can smell it.
I'm not drunk. I haven't started drinking again.
So you forgot to drink? I don't buy it. Why do you smell like a corpse then?
He's wounded. It's been a long week, and he's handled an actual corpse.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a week. I'm sorry, I smell bad.
A bit of a week? You're drunk, and you let a suspect escape, a certain Clasier, because you were too drunk to assess a flight risk.
We've read the report, Sari. Lieutenant Kitsuhagi's. We know.
Not taking her was the right thing to do. She gave me a vital clue that led us to the island.
Oh, well, if she was nice. I'm not even gonna get into the other suspect. The one who shot herself. In the head. Or the fact that you're Everclear's little peony now. Doing I don't know what for him. That's small-time stuff. That's nothing. That's a humorous anecdote. Compared to the 6 people who were gunned down. The streets are literally red with blood, Harry. It was fucking mass murder.
He did everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired unvetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals.
Here comes the cavalry.
He did so at considerable risk to his own life. He was shot, not once, but twice. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been.
Yeah, it was a massacre. We got wiped. Where the hell were you?
Don't make this harder for yourself.
I don't fucking care.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation.
Straight hand with dying coughs.
You've spent the week with him, on this case. What is your take?
On the case?
On Lieutenant Geoffrey Dubois.
Well, the drinking, the gun losing, also losing the badge. That's all true. Although he has not been drinking on the job this week.
See?
1 week.
Then there's the self-flagellation issue. He likes to apologize, profusely, making it sound like he's guilty of at least first-degree murder. It's not a good communication strategy for an officer. It's just strange, especially in light of his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a true blue moralist, a man of the center, not prone to political outbursts, which is commendable, but also at odds with his behavior. And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, something I was not present for. But despite all this, he is a great detective, one of the best I have seen, in fact. He can talk human beings into telling him anything, and he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped working on the case. He is tireless, madly driven, and he solved it near perfectly. In 1 week we have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator. Locked on the island right now, awaiting transportation. He apprehended a revolutionary brigade who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years. Oh, and he also discovered a new species.
A new species?
A colossal stick insect. It was on the island, camouflaged as the reeds. It unfolded from the reeds. I think we may be dealing with the Insulindian phasmid.
Kim, do we have to talk about this right now?
He takes out the photo and shows it to the officers across the yard. Thick white snow falls all around you. Flakes stick to the glossy photo of the phasmid. You hear gasps beneath the howling of the wind.
As you can see, it's about 3 meters tall. In fact, we think it may be the largest land invertebrate ever discovered.
I ain't saying shit.
Fucking hell is that? Is this somehow connected to the case?
Detective?
Yeah, I believe the pheromone emits may be responsible for the killer's mental degradation.
The old man was not aware of the phasmid's presence. Exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia, he fell into a stupor after its appearance. He became near catatonic.
So it is connected.
I must say, this is absolutely extraordinary. I don't even have words for it.
You and me too, Trant.
Yes. It really does make it hard to fire the drunk.
His tired eyes follow the photos. The lieutenant puts it away.
This is a very, very sad man who has just seen something that's made him forget his sadness. Now you make your case. Now is the time. Now or never.
It's also a dead man on the board. Oh, I'm supposed to go for this. Phasmid was female, breeds this nest.
Female? What makes you think so?
You had to see it. It had the subdued colors of a female. And the nesting behavior too, I think.
Incredible. Were there eggs in the nest?
Not as far as I could see. There were other things there, though.
It's interesting time. Forget about the rest.
It gathered items in the nest. I'm on a scope.
Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a male. This is far from anything in my field, but I think such nests are called bowers. They are for attracting mates.
Bowers are built by males of the species who can't afford colorful mating displays physically. This one was plain colored.
It could have been male, actually.
Must be robust if it can move a helmet with its limbs.
It produces by parthenogenesis.
As in cloning itself? What makes you think so?
Just a hunch.
Well, then it wouldn't matter if it's a male or female. The bower would just be rudimentary behavior from before the parthenogenetic mutation.
That makes sense, yes.
Very interesting. Such organisms are extremely vulnerable to disease. A single strain of bacteria could wipe out the whole species. We're probably looking at conservation efforts here.
Taking a bit of chemical that makes it look even more like the roots.
Yes. That would be a pheromone. A pheromone that's seemingly beneficial to the host. It usually stimulates the affected nervous system. Not a human's, of course, but perhaps a predator's?
Nothing is off the table. But I want to stress this. The find does not have to be connected to the case. The case is 100% prosecutable, without any pheromones.
Of course, Lieutenant. Of course. We should treat the case and the phasmid as completely separate from each other. People are not going to...
He shakes his head.
They're not going to go for this speculation in the constabulary.
That mandibles like I had was completely white on the inside.
Yes, but also reed-colored, beige and brown, a little green on the outside.
Still can't believe we're talking about
After unfolding from a single stalk, it still retained parts that looked like reed tufts on its limbs.
Incredible. The PR value of this is exceptional. Carp discovers new species. Maybe even discovers the Insulindian phasmid. No, that's too much.
This would really help with some of the problems we've been having.
Absolutely, this is great. This does not say vigilante murderers to me at all. This says science, news, human interest. You know, it's a really good thing you have that photo.
Without it,
You're doing good here. Perhaps only for a moment, but still.
Killer, even if it's Dross, we have a strong motive for him.
Lilianovich. A revolutionary matronym.
Matronym?
The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms. Krasovich, Lasovich, etc. The revolutionaries saw this as a chauvinist atavism, so they used matronyms, derived from the mother's name instead. This man's mother was Lilian. His Lilian's son, Lilianovich. The custom was overturned after the revolution failed, but not before it made it to Revachol.
So, it is what a soldier of the ICM would be called.
thank you, Trant. Thank you for that piece of cultural theory. You said you have a motive?
Of course, excuse me, I just thought it was noteworthy.
He wasn't quite sure about the straggler before he heard this detail. It must have convinced him.
He killed a mercenary hoping to start a war between the company and the Union.
And it worked? He got a war going?
Yes, until we stopped it. He saw the mercenary as an ennemi combattant. There's plenty for prosecution to pick from, as far as motive is concerned. Also, we have a sniper's nest with full view of the room in which the mercenary died, right on the island, and 2 officers on the scene that Mr. Dross confessed to.
It's a clean win.
Oh, it's way more than that.
Did all I could. Every second was a struggle.
I've never doubted you can pull yourself together and work. In bouts. Bouts don't last. I can still smell the booze on the wind.
God damn it. Doesn't it ever leave? It is there. Like in your bones or something. It will pass. In time.
The previous head of the Debardairs Union was assassinated by our killer.
This is a conversation for when we are no longer out in the open. In Martinez, where Evrart and Edgar Clare have ears everywhere.
But don't lose its voice just a little.
And eyes, too. Your return from the island must not have gone unnoticed.
Understood, of course.
But a case against Everard would be big.
I would prefer not to partake in anything union-related, for political neutrality.
This has to be good stuff for him to backpedal out of it at first mention.
There's also a dead man on the boardwalk. Missing person, I found.
Yes. Fallen through a gap in a boardwalk. Drunk.
How'd you know I found him?
The body was transported to Precinct 41, our morgue. I had Tilbrook and Mullins take care of funeral arrangements and family stuff.
You're not the only cop in the world, Harry. This all comes back to us.
Still, good work with the missing person, detective.
Also looked into the mystery of the doomed commercial area.
I don't know what a doomed commercial area is.
Ruderton Gazane's hand. Commercial business to all the buildings go bankrupt. Looked into it.
Why? That's not what you were supposed to do here.
There was a possible witness in there, and it was close to the crime scene. He was just chasing a lead and ended up advising a local shopkeeper. It was okay.
Of course. Call it community outreach, right?
Dodged the bullet there. For a moment it seemed like you were just wasting time.
So what'd you say? We'll take this hot shit back?
I don't want to, but you discovered a new species and solved the murder.
Shrugs.
So I have to. Jude?
Anything that ends the trial is okay with me.
Quick nod.
Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to let go.
Okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody. Let's go.
Wait, I have a few questions before we go about who I am.
The man looks westward, impatiently, jingling his car keys in his pocket.
Am I a dead cop working for the Puta Madre?
No.
No, because the sussets seem to think...
You're too unstable to work for a mob boss. You're suicidal, Harry. No mob boss would take you.
I assure you, I wouldn't consult for a corrupt unit.
He would immediately backpedal out of it.
Who am I?
Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Harry.
What?
Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore, but...
But before?
Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coron. It's getting really cold outside. Should we maybe...
That explains a lot.
Harry, it explains everything. The running around, the jumping, the bicep girth, your inexplicable facial hair.
The clutch of the pound sports for a bit fast.
Some of your more old-school wording choices. Your posture, even. The constant stretches.
Also, this guy. Just everything about this guy.
Who's got 2 farms and drunk himself into oblivion? Ding!
And this guy, too.
Alright. When was this? When I was a gym teacher?
In your 20s or late 20s. You've really let yourself go since then.
Fuck you. You said I was in Coron? I was a gym teacher there?
Yes, you taught gym in Coron. I believe that's the term. Taught gym at a high school. You were a high school gym teacher.
The smell of sweat and glue. The worn floorboards. Coron is just east of Jamrock. It was a short walk every morning to the baseball field or the sports building.
High school. Harry, your goings-on with Kuno, Andre, Assel, the whole thing on the ice. That's why you are so juvie.
So why did I join the RCM then?
The regular. You found some chick. She inspired you to fight the big fight. Be more than you are. All that.
You, every morning, walking from Voyager Road to teach gym. She, leaving for the academy with her spring coat on. The air filled with the smell of smoke and raspberries and incredible hope. An ocean full of hope.
Ah, I see now.
I knew it. I knew no normal human being can run like that. He's an honest-to-God gym teacher.
Why am I like this?
It's not a mystery. Some chick fucked you over. Also, you were drunk.
You really went with it too. Really maximized the damage.
Some chick who?
Dora something. Dora England. Yeah, you mentioned the name.
Not Dora Dubois.
So we weren't even wait, who?
Something like that. Half Vazan.
Vasa is where beautifully and impossibly blonde people come from.
So we weren't even married.
No one is married anymore. This is Revachol.
When was this?
God, I don't know. 6 years ago, she was way before my time.
6?
Yeah. Or 7. You're not doing too good there. It's an old man thing. 2 old years equals 1 normal year. That and Dora Engelund really tore you a new one. A big one.
Who was she?
Incredibly bangable.
Biggest?
Extremely fuckable, Harry. Gorgeous. A gorgeous bourgeois woman. Wayfish. Like a Welkin, basically.
Snow Welkin. Blonde Welkin. Pain Welkin.
Hey!
I've only seen a picture. But it's obvious you formed a real spiritual connection with how pretty she was. One you never recuperated from.
Look, the sun is about to go down. It's time to go home.
I think she taught in the Académie des Arts, east of the river. Way east. Hard to say which came first, the middle-class chick or the drink. Egg and the chicken kind of thing. My point is, you need to see a psychiatrist about this shit. Not a psychologist. Several degrees harder. Is there something harder than a psychiatrist? A forensic psychiatrist? Go talk to that.
In other words, he's heard enough about this.
So what about the precinct? What kind of station is it?
Us? We're the bloody murder station, haven't you heard? We're the bad guys. No one likes us.
That's not true. Jamrock is too big for one precinct. You are just understaffed. And everyone respects the 41st. You have Captain Price.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You're being kind. It is an understaffed station and the district is too big. Which is why we need to...
Just head northward.
Get back to it. We left Torson and McLean to run the Sea Wing. It's not good.
Torson McLean?
Mac the Torso Torson and Chester McLean. They're not fit to run a wing. Believe me. Things are shaky as it is.
I think I remember the Torson.
They are damn iconic though. Torson and McLean.
Can I do or take it?
Yeah, not like us. 2 clinically depressed old men. Where's the contrast here? We are garbage.
Sea wingers.
God. There are 4 wings, Harry. A, B, C, and D. We're in C. It's made of losers and clock punchers. You and I reconceptualized it as a task force. It was a mistake.
There's also a lot of outside help involved, not only me. Other losers too.
And Price says...
Ptolemy Price is the son of the old Price, one of the founders of the RCM.
He's one of the most highly regarded men in the force. You're lucky.
Somewhere under the curved roof of a former silk factory, shaped like a ladybird with 2 chimneys, Police Captain Ptolemy Price sits behind a heavy wooden desk. Resident medic Nix Gottlieb pours him coffee. It's silent in the captain's office. They speak of change, the city, the tension on the streets. They speak of the events of April and the blood on the streets in May.
Did we recently shoot up a church by any chance?
So he remembers that. Yes, there may have been a raid on some churches. It wasn't good press.
Shooting up churches never is. I was out of town, to be clear.
What happened? Why did we need to go there?
Our enemies were hiding in a church, to the best of our information. That's it. I'm not talking about this anymore. Your security clearance is shit tier right now. You have to wait for it to go up.
So I work in the bloody murder station.
Okay. It's not the bloody murder station. It's an old converted silk mill with green desk lamps and a coffee corner. A lot of good people work there, hard, every day.
Jamrock is the largest ghetto in Rivershall. Faubourg, technically, but it's divided into 11 districts. Jamrock only has us.
The press will blow over. Jamrock is lucky to have you, and it's often considered to be the greatest of the districts. You're lucky to have it.
Thank you again, Lieutenant.
The Phasmid, I need to tell Lena about it ASAP.
Who is Lena?
She lives at 1113 Tabernacle Road in Jamrock. Remember?
Cryptozoologist lives in Jamrock on Tabernacle Road. Tell me about the Phasmid.
Tabernacle? It's on the way over. Near where you live on Perdition.
Fine, if we're gonna drop you off anyway.
She and her husband were conducting the search for the Phasmid. It's their discovery, in part. They should know as soon as possible. It would do you good to deliver some positive news for a change.
Kim, what do you want to do now?
Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It will have to be good to cover all these. Then I will have a serious talk with my captain.
About?
Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol.
He pulls up his collar and looks around, the cold spring light reflected in the lens of his glasses.
I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready, infiltrate, investigate.
Do I do that with the 41st?
Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of 2 captains with my doom-mongering.
No, I mean, like, investigate. Come work for us.
Work with Price? I'm flattered, but I don't know if I...
Would fit in. And crazy enough. Can take the stress. He doesn't know how to finish the sentence. This truly came as a surprise to him. Not a bad one, but he's at a loss.
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even considered.
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the harbor.
Lieutenant turns very serious all of a sudden.
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need to get back to. Mountains, even.
I do like the sound of that.
Turns a smile.
He's really considering it.
Let's get a shit show on the road.
Good.
She looks at you, then back at Victormere.
Fuck it, let's go. Trump brought his motor carriage. It's a 20-minute drive to Jamrock.
Under the afternoon sky, the great district hums. A chessboard of wooden houses, 80,000 living souls, and chimney stacks. Fire traps as far as the eye can see. From Main Street to Precinct 41, to Boogie Street, forking into the snow-swept horizon. You close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window, dreaming of meteorite strikes. On Rue de Saint-Jérôme, a square bullet slides into a square-shaped chamber. In Old South, a man without eyelids smiles. Spring has come. It's time. Dawson? Yes. McLean? Yes. Heidelstein? No. Vicmere? Yes. Dubois? Of course. Really? Nix Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing. Captain Potentually Price gestures with a ballpoint pen. It's dim in the office, and the curtains are drawn. Harry's our man. He'll pull through. When he does, he'll side with the RCM. Understood. Gottlieb returns to the list. Minot? Of course.
Wonderful. Then can we please just go back to Jamrock now?
And there we are. And that's a nice touch at the end there. It's like, ugh, come on, asshole. Let's get face for the door. And there we are. I knew it was a good game before going into it. I didn't know much else. I knew about spin kicking head measure in the face. I know of a dancing sequence. I think if we put the nightclub in the church, we might have seen that. I did not know about the Phasmid. I think I've seen a screenshot of the photo, but I didn't think it was. I think it was just an art piece or anything like that. I skipped it, but found it a bit dry at the start. It took a little while to get going. But I think generally around about the time, just when it got to the point about the pails, I'm like, oh shit, there's more going on here than we think there is. I don't know how much I've missed. I don't know how much differently things could have played out. I know certainly I've gotten things wrong, obviously, but oh boy. So this was gifted to me by a person on Discord who goes by Cav. When I mentioned the Owl Mafia at the start, it's because him and a bunch of people on the Discord server, basically the proviso was when he gifted me the game, the answer was you had to record it. So here we are. A year had also passed after he gifted it to me, but we're not talking about that. But yeah, I'm not normally a player of these sort of drawn out RPG like conversation games. I have played point and click before. Monkey Island and all that lot, so it's definitely a bit closer to that than, say, your Divinities, your and others, but it is most definitely a decent game. The plot, I think if I'd have gone with something which didn't have Encyclopedia popping up all the time, I probably could have found it better. Because there was a lot of stuff being thrown at me. It's sort of like, yeah, this is where this is, this is where this is, this is their final, and all this lot. And it's just like, well, it got a bit of a slog in that regard, but Jesus, that ending sequence. The voice work, yeah, these guys definitely knocked it out of the park. Especially, I want to know who did the yeah, that man there. Mikey did a brilliant job there. Yeah. Yeah, definitely good voice work. A few iffy parts, but generally speaking, that was absolute 10 out of 10. Definitely worth playing. Hell Driver? I think I missed that one. I can't remember anyway. Yeah, so there are definitely some bits I've missed, obviously. Yeah, so he came back to do some more stuff, yeah. Kuno's dad? Definitely missed that. So I don't know if these are actual, like, voice credits or they're just writings in it, but yeah, there's definitely a few names I've missed here. I certainly can't remember. Oh, it could be the phone, the stuff with the phone. Because I remember there was one bit on the phone which was basically you just ringing up someone. There's a phone, you've seen it by the church, you ring it up and there's conversations going on through it. I didn't bother because I thought it was a optional thing. And this case, well, I did it first time around and it's like, oh, I might get the same one, I might not, but yeah. That's why I didn't go after the bug, because I had to make me redo it. Oh, as you can probably see all that bloody death ray. Very hard to exploit a handicapped person. But yeah, very much enjoyed the end of that. As I did find it a bit hard going at times. A little confused as to where I was going. But I think that's generally because I didn't get that one white check with the Howdy voice to establish dominance. Once that started, I was back on track then. So, a lot to tell where we're going in some places. I want to see how long you could have actually left it. I want to see if you could have avoided the gun. I think you definitely could have avoided the gunfight. I want to see if there was any way we can actually get to that island early and try and solve it. Because the moment you see that guy, it's over. At that point, as I said, I knew the shot had come from there if it wasn't someone standing on the roof. All this lot. Again, it's the one thing you get with sort of modern murder mysteries. They give you enough so that you could put it together, but there was always something missing there. And I would say this now. I'm talking over this good music, by the way. Oh, rest in peace. All the times we had to mention it. Oh, maybe communism killed him. Maybe communism killed him. Guess what? It was. It was a remnant of the war. But yeah, as I say, it's falls down a little bit on that point, but again, I love that. I love the little end bits that said, yeah, okay, you got that bit right, you got that bit right, you fucked up here, you fucked up there, you got that bit right. I wonder if Kim actually turned around and said at the end there, just dobbed this in, basically turned around and said, hey, by the way, he told me he was lying about that. It's like, well, at that point it recovered, so. A lot of voice stuff on this. Okay, the credits rolling. I don't think I like the clothes mechanic. I mean, I get what they were going for there. You could pick a look and have it beef up your stats. But as I said, all you would do is you get to a check. If you could close out the window, you could just turn around and just find out what it is, beef it up a bit. I think a little bit more could have probably been done with that. Because as I say, at the end of the day, you sort of just picked a look for and kept with it, so. But, yeah. I only have the two. I guess if I'd found the gun, or my gun, if I think it was even possible to find my gun, having the shots we had probably would have been one for the body, and then one for the merc at the end. So I think if I was going to replay this, I probably won't record it, because I think the whole just doing this game, knowing where to go and how to do it, I think would have ruined the magic. You know, it's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm just taking boxes here. But yeah. Me finding out the Pale is this sort of amorphous, like, destructive force. Like this thing that's interesting in the background. And then have the thing blasted at you by a death ray a few parts later on. Like, what the hell? Okay. That and everything about the, this lady, the sort of leader for the sort of known world, because that's, as I said at the time, it all seemed like It all seemed like it was going along this sort of, okay, this is Germany, but we're not calling it Germany. This is Russia, but we're not calling it Russia. Middle East, this side, all that lot. And then find out it's actually close to Portland, London. Mankind be vigilant, we loved you, yeah. Still not pronouncing that name, by the way. So it's with anything after the credits. No, there isn't. Well then. I don't know how many people actually bother watching this, but I have been Cyrus the Mad DJ Director. That was Disco Elysium, and I will see you later for more bullshit, probably. Probably less political bullshit, but bullshit nonetheless. I think I need a long lie down now. Probably eyeing up that bottle of Jack Daniels, because oh my god. Good game. So, GG. See you later.